What's up, guys? Nick from Source Strength here. Today we're going to be talking about how to progress up to a PR. This is some squat footage of the other day. I hit a PR, and this is how I progressed up to it. So first, I started with a bar and did 2 sets of 10. Then I started with 135, and then this is 185. So I really think that everybody needs to slow it down and take smaller jumps. So I did the bar for 2 sets, then 135, 185, 225. So I'm jumping a plate, then a quarter, then a plate, then a quarter, then a plate, then a quarter. On these lower sets here, as you can see, I'm doing pause reps at the bottom. And so I'll do that until I start working into heavier weights. And so I'm going to hit triples for a while, then I'll hit doubles, and then I'll hit singles. But when I switch over to doing the singles, all I'm working on is being explosive as possible. And by taking the smaller jumps, I'm getting more sets up into my 1 rep max. So I don't need to do doubles and triples as I work in the heavier weights because I'm doing the smaller jumps. So the reasoning behind all that is that I'm conserving all my energy for 1 rep. So I'm trying to treat the weights. I want to treat 135 like my max and my max like 135. So as you can see in all these reps here, we're pausing at the bottom, but then once we come through at the top, I'm trying to explode as fast as I can. So when I'm trying to do a PR, like today, I got 65 on the squat, which I don't back squat very often. I'm really trying to do a lot of front squatting and safety squat bar, so it still was a good squat for me. But I'm really focusing on each rep looking just like the last rep. So I want 135 to look like my max. And if you watched this video, almost every single rep is identical as far as the body lean that I have, where I'm pausing at the bottom and where I'm finishing at the top. That's something that I've been able to do by recording myself each set and looking after each set that I do. I look at the video that I've taken, and then I try to see where I can get better, and also have my lifting partner watch every rep and be I don't want them to be my friend about it. I want them to tell me what exactly am I doing wrong. So I put so much time and focus into each rep that I'm progressively getting better and better and better at the squat. This was probably the best squat day that I've ever had, because the weights were moving pretty good, but it wasn't about how much weight I pressed. I really didn't care if I got a PR or not. What I really wanted to do was to be able to press my max just like I would 135. I think in this video here, let's see, I think it's just 315. Wait till I walk it out. Okay, so 1, 2, oh no, this is 405, sorry. But so you see here, this is getting into the maximal weights, and the form looked the same as it did at 135. And I think you need to find in your body where your stance exactly should be and where you should put the bar. I think high bar or low bar, it doesn't really matter as long as you're squatting down and squatting back up. Everybody's a little bit different. But I think the most important thing that you got to look at with your squat is your bar path. So it doesn't matter if you're high bar or low bar. If you're all wobbly and wonky, it's just not going to be a good rep. All these reps felt relatively the same. It wasn't too bad. I was really happy with everything. One of the biggest pieces of advice I can give for leading up into a PR is to take the smaller jumps, because when you take those big 90-pound jumps each time, your body's just not ready for the weight that's about to be on it. So it's a good piece of advice. I think this might be 455, I think. Yeah, I believe so. If you take a look, my body lean is the same, and then I don't really get bent over in a good morning. I do in the very next rep just a little bit, and that's something too. When you're working in maximal weights, of course your form is going to break down, so don't be too hard on yourself. Right here, just doing some glute ham raises, really working on my peach gang booty, trying to get a big butt. I really feel like these are incredibly important for your posterior chain. I think it's the small stuff that really makes a huge difference. So this workout, we squatted for an hour. We're doing 3 sets of this, and then we're doing 3 sets of leg extensions, and that's it. We're going home. We're not doing leg press, and we're not doing, all these crazy things that you could do. The number one way to increase your squat is to squat more often to work on your form. So yes, doing a lunge will make you a little bit stronger, but just squatting more often will get you better at that movement. I mean, what kind of translation does a lunge have to your squat? Yes, it makes you stronger, but the movement pattern is completely different. So instead of wasting my time doing all these silly exercises, I'm just going to do the main movement that I want to get better at for the hour. And then I take 40 minutes to work on stuff, my weaknesses. So everybody's weakness is their glutes. No matter who you are, your glutes can be stronger. Makes you have powerful hips. With the leg extensions, I have a wide stance squat. I basically squat sumo, or I'm sorry, I deadlift sumo with my hands on the outside, so still conventional. So I'm a very like hamstring and glute dominant lifter. So my weakest part of my legs is my quads. They're not weak, but they are the weakest point. So here, since we just squatted very heavy, I have a really light weight. I'm just working on pumping blood as much as I can in there, trying to get some volume in because I got almost no volume by squatting heavy. So your accessory movements have to be the opposite of what you just trained. If you trained heavy, you want to train lightweight on your accessory. If you trained lightweight on your barbell, heavy accessories. All right, guys, thanks.